All right. Hey, you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am joined again with my producer, Donovan.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, we're excited about this topic today. We are actually going to be talking about how to be intentional about placing people in your life.
Yes, I am very, very excited about this topic because I am someone who is very intentional about the people that I have in my life.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to share some of my practices, but of course, hearing what she has because she's the best. She's the best at what she does.
Stop it right now. Yeah, I mean, I really think, I will preach this until the day I die, but the quality of our life is directly correlated to the quality of our relationships. And I mean, realistically, Jesus was all about relationships. And so I think it's really important that we are mindful of the company that we keep. I also think what's beautiful is Jesus calls all of us friends, right? And I think that that is just so beautiful because for me, I always say that, like anybody, I'm like, hey friend, like I really do treat everybody with like love and kindness. But Jesus only had 12 disciples. He really only had 12. And so I think that that's really important to be mindful of, like, who we are allowing into our space. Um, and there are purpose connections that are in the Bible. I mean, you have like Paul and Timothy, which is like such a beautiful connection between, like, a spiritual father and a spiritual son.
Yeah.
Ruth and Naomi, where she says, wherever you go, I go, right? And so how important, I mean, even Adam and Eve, I mean, like, God doesn't bring us the people that we want in our lives. He actually brings us the people that we need to get to the next level. And so sometimes, we are trying to make relationships work that maybe God didn't actually bring together. And that's something that I've had to really learn, like, throughout my life, is because I would say that I'm a pretty friendly, bubbly person. I grew up and we moved around. Stop it, right? He's a hater. Such a hater.
She's the kindest, sweetest person in the world.
But I mean, I grew up with my mom. She was an on and off single mom. And so we moved around like every 6 months. And so I had more first days of school than anybody I know. And so I was always having to,
You were always the new kid.
Yeah. And so, like, my skills to like make new friends is up there, right? And it's not something that I'm performing to do. I just really had to learn constantly how to navigate making new connections and friendships and things like that. But also realizing that not everybody is meant to go with you to the next level. And I think that that's something that I've had to mourn a lot as well. It's like, if I had it my way, like, everybody would be coming with me, right? And so, anyways, I will be talking a lot about, how to be mindful of the people that are in your life.
Yeah.
So
I loved when you were talking about the different like relationships in the Bible.
yeah.
One that stands out to me, it's not one that's talked about as often, but it's definitely one that's highlighted. It's David and Saul.
Ooh, yeah.
That relationship was always on the rocks, but like Saul loved David and David loved Saul. I mean, David's best friend was Jonathan, who's Saul's son. Like, so that whole, I was always interested in that dynamic of a king being dethroned by a boy, and then, having relationship with you. I give you my armor. I don't need your armor. Well, I'm trying to be this for you, but you're not letting me. And I have to go hide in a cave because you and your friends are coming after me, but I'm still remaining to love you and be there with you. Like, that relationship to me is always so interesting too. So I love that you were talking about those different ones, but that one specifically for me, it's always been like, oh, if that's anything of like a true test of friendship, just look at David and Saul.
Come on.
Saul tried to kill him.
Yeah, I'll get a little spicy sometimes, right? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, definitely, I would say too, like, when it comes to relationships, it doesn't mean that there's never going to be conflict, or it doesn't mean that there's never going to be miscommunication, or it doesn't mean that it's always going to be easy and light. Like, the relationships are all about rupture, repair, rupture, repair, rupture, repair, over and over again until the end of time. But I think having those foundations of, like, do we have the same beliefs? Are we walking in the same direction? And do we ultimately want what's best for one another?
Yeah. It's like Proverbs 27, right? Iron sharpens iron.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, my struggle at times is, like, I'm a gold digger. I wrote a book called The Ultimate Guide to Becoming a Gold Digger, Discovering Hidden Treasures Within. But, I'm the type of person where I'm always like trying to pull out the gold in people, and I'm just like, I can see the best in everyone. And sometimes I have acknowledged that there might be times where I might be trying to pull things out of people that they're not ready for it to be out of, right? And so
Interesting.
it can actually backfire to
Yeah.
where it may make someone feel like I'm saying they're not enough, where it's like, no, like I want the best for you,
Yeah.
right? And so realizing like, hey, love people where they're at, and see them where they're at, and and not try to get someone to where they're not just yet.
Well, I have to commend you. For those who don't know Gabby as well as I do, I've known Gabby for, gosh, maybe 15, 16 years
Yeah.
closely, but I've known her for almost 20.
Yeah.
And this is someone who's very, very, very intentional about when she talks with people. I mean, she's a counselor, for God's sake, so she kind of has to be. But at the same time, like if there's a model to be a friend to somebody, I would definitely say that this is someone to be a model, like a great model to be a really, really good friend in any season that you're in. I know that she's been here for me, and honestly, I'll be very frank there for my ex-wife as well. She's been an amazing friend to both of us and our own needs. So I wanted to commend you for that. So if you're listening to this, please, please, please listen to what she has to say, because this kind of stuff that she brings to the table as far as relationship is concerned is really, really good. And I know that you've seen a lot of people come in and out of your life as well as I do. Can you kind of talk about, I know you have a lot of things you want to talk about. I'm curious about like expiration dates on friendships and relationships.
Yeah, so good. Wow. Thank you for saying all that. That's really sweet, Dono. Appreciate you. Love you both, honestly.
Yeah.
And expiration dates. So that's hard.
That's something my therapist told me about, and he told me that 2 weeks ago, and I was like, "Oh my God, you're totally right."
So here's what I will say is like some of the hardest heartbreaks I've ever had is actually losing friends.
Yeah.
Because you spend so much time and effort, cultivating a connection, and some relationships do last longer than marriages. I will say that. Yeah. But I also think it's really hard when you are outgrowing each other. And like I said, I'm a type of person where I want everybody to come with me.
Yeah.
I am like, I will work this until I am tired, right? And sometimes I have to acknowledge that, it's not about my skill set, or it's not about any of that. It takes two people to want to be on the same page, and two people with totally different free wills. And sometimes we're in different seasons, right? Like what God might be working on in my season might be in complete contradiction to what God is working on in your season. And so sometimes what could be happening is we just constantly are triggering each other, right? It could be that maybe I am in a season where God is having me use my voice more. And for someone else, they might be in a season where God's telling them to listen more, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm trying to tell you, talk more. And they're in a season where God's telling them to listen, right? And so therefore we are not, vibing right now. I did hear this. This was a really beautiful way that Mel Robbins.
I love her. She's brilliant.
Yeah, she's got some good stuff. I mean, some of her stuff you kind of have to listen with a grain of salt because it's not always very trauma informed.
Sure.
But she talks about how adult friendships are very different. When you're younger, you spend a lot of time with people because you have a lot of things that create, just connection. We were in church and we were in ministry all the time, and we served and, helped out with youth group.
We also didn't have jobs, kids, all that sort
responsibilities, like all of that. Right now we're like in our mid 30s, like we're busy. Right? Yeah. We're so busy. So like our time is like the greatest commodity that we have. And so for me personally, I'm like, listen, if I'm giving you my time, I promise you matter.
Yeah.
Because I don't give it to everybody. I promise you that. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, but what I will say is, at times what happens is that we're trying to make something happen that might not actually be the timing for each of us, right? Mm-hmm. God might be doing different things in each of our lives, in each of our seasons. And so, but what Mel talks about is seeing friendships not so much as they're always ending, but sometimes they just kind of ebb and flow. There might be times where you're closer in a season, and there might be times you just have to take some time away, and then you may come back again, right? And I think that for me, that has helped a lot because I've had friends being, single. I'm 35. I had friends who've gotten married, had kids, so many different things, right? Where I'm that close friend in that season, but then their priorities change.
Yeah.
And so it can be tough because I'm constantly having to like find new people to like do life with. But then, they may go through a divorce and now we're close again, right? And so being open and like giving space and grace as the relationship ebbs and flows, but then also learning how to reset the pace of the relationship too. And communication is huge.
Mm.
So not every relationship has to just end. Not every relationship, because they can't meet your needs, is it toxic. It just might mean that we need to give some space and some grace,
Yeah.
because everybody is just dealing with a lot of things all at once. And that really helped me a lot, because it's like not every relationship has to be a hard cut everybody off, right? Now, there are obviously certain relationships that just are not working. And that is when you do have to go ahead and say, all right, like this is just clearly not working. A sign is, how do you feel after you spend time with them? Do you feel energized, or do you feel drained? Do you ever doubt that they want the best for you?
Mm.
Do you guys lack with trust? Like, do you just feel like, I don't know why, I just don't feel like I can trust this person?
Mm.
Are there more like bad times and fights than there are positive moments and memories, right? And is every interaction always really just intense, and like draining, right? um do they show up for you without needing anything in return,
Yeah.
right? Or do they only reach out when they want something from you? And are you guys just aligned values wise, right? Because there are some people that, they don't have the same values, and the Bible does talk about bad company corrupts good morals, right? So it's like just being mindful of like, why am I wanting to keep this person in my life if it constantly feels like it's so much work, right? And can you still bless and release? Absolutely.
Yeah.
It just is, instead of me feeling like I need to be, in their life and taking care and loving, putting them back into God's hands and just letting Him do what He's going to do. Who knows? God may bring that person back, and you guys may be two totally different people, but it could be that it just might not be this season.
And I think that's really healthy, that perspective, as opposed to like, oh, they abused my trust, they did something toxic, dump, done.
Yeah.
Because then I really feel like there's no growth that happens, or
Yeah.
no room for growth, or room for healing, or
Totally.
room for repair, or
Yeah.
anything.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, in our day and age, everything is, well, whatever doesn't serve me, but like as
Yeah.
Christians, like we aren't here to be served, right? Like Jesus was King of Kings. He didn't come to be served. He came to serve. He washed his disciples' feet. Like he was the one here healing. He gave up his privilege. He gave up his glory to come and be here with us messy humans. There's a verse in the Bible that talks about that, like Jesus didn't really fully trust his 12 because he knew exactly what was in their hearts, and yet he still died for all of us, right? And so I think that to me is like the ultimate test of just love and friendship. Knowing that people are going to hurt you, that is a given, right? That is a given. I expect my friends to disappoint me.
Mm.
I expect my friends to, be crazy sometimes, and I hope they would expect that from me at
Yeah.
times, right? But it's also like their heart and their character and their integrity. Do they own their stuff? Do they come back and repair and say, "Listen, friend, I sucked. I sucked in that moment. Please forgive me." Right? That I think is really important of whether or not this relationship is workable,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I do have a model that I actually talk about in my book, The Ultimate Guide to Becoming a Gold Digger, Discovering the Hidden Treasures Within. And I don't know if you've ever heard this song before. I actually will sing this for my clients, and like only a handful of them have ever heard the song, but it goes, make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold. Do you remember that?
Nope.
Okay. Well, it was a little nursery rhyme that we used to sing when we were kids, but I think everybody in our life is gold. They're just different carats.
Yeah.
And so I actually have this thing that I use in my book where I kind of help you realize where to place people in your life. Because again, everybody's gold. Everybody is friend, right? That's just how Jesus
Do you
was.
want me to hold it and you can write on it, or do you need to write on it like that?
You can hold it if you want. Let me
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
finish the circle so they can see it on camera. I'm drawing this for you guys, but basically it is 4 circles. You kind of want it to make it look like a bullseye. And so there's 4 circles. So the inner circle, you're going to actually write down 24K. And then the second circle is 18K. The next one is 16K. And the last one is 10K. So everybody in your life is gold. They're just different carats. So people who are in your 24K circle, these are people that are the most valuable people in your life. Like if you wear a piece of 24 karat gold and it goes through water, I mean, it's not going to tarnish. This is the most valuable piece of gold. It's been through, the most refinement. It's not paired with any other metals. It's the purest form of gold. And so these are the people that can stand the test of time. They can go through the storms of life with you, and that relationship is still valuable.
Yeah.
Everybody, though, in your 24 karat circle, it doesn't mean that they are the exact same type of person, right? Like you may have one person that's like your spiritual, like person, ride or die. You could talk about all things spiritual. You might have someone else in here who is like, man, we talk about finances like that and business. Like that is just my, whatever. It could be someone else who's just like your fun friend. Like you're just like, we always laugh and that is that. So knowing that not everybody who's 24K is going to be the exact same prototype of person, you actually want to diversify your relationships like you would your portfolio. So you don't necessarily need to be around people who are exactly like you. Having other people with different perspectives
so important
is like the best way
so important
to really help you be more of a well-rounded person.
I even think, especially now with what we're living in with society, everything is polarized. Black, white, Democrat, Republican, Coke, Pepsi.
Yeah.
Everything is so polarized. And I think that's where a lot of our relationships with people are lacking is because we tend to have confirmation bias with the people that we tend to agree with more,
of course,
than who we don't with. Like there are people that I don't agree with politically at work.
Yeah.
But I love them.
Totally.
I absolutely love them. And even after a guy that I work with, I won't say his name, but afterwards he goes, God, just talking to you, because even though we like vehemently disagree on, politically on stuff, he goes, can we just like have a beer and hang out more? That. I was like, 1,000% yes, because I love being around this person.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't always agree on the same policy or how things are done or what's going on, but I love this person and I want to be around them. And I think that's so lacking today.
It is so lacking. And I think it's like, the minute that we like have friction or we can't agree or we can't figure out on maybe one particular thing, we think, well, then I can't be around them at all.
It's so annoying and it's so toxic. It's like, God, then you're going to push away everybody.
And here's my thing too, is like, it's okay to have boundaries in certain areas, right? It's okay to just say, listen, Frank, this one area right here is a trouble spot for us. We can't talk about this.
I had this conversation with my mom the other day. And it was, coincidentally left, it was politics. I told you, we were going back and forth and we just couldn't see eye to eye. And then we were being mean to each other.
Wow.
And then I was like, I think going forward for our relationship, we need to not talk about this at all. It's just like, I agree. I was like, great.
Exactly. And that is, and again, that they have your best interest. That they love the living daylights out of you. They literally love the hell right out of you. Right. And so it's important to realize that like not everybody in this 24K is going to be think exactly the same. And I think that this is what keeps us from like being stuck in growing, because if we have to surround ourselves with people that think exactly like us, it's going to stunt our growth. You need people that are going to challenge you, going to call you out.
How are you going to grow?
And again, a lot of times people like comfortability, right? But in order to grow, we actually have to like be outside of our comfort zone. So I love talking to people who think differently than me. I'm like, oh, tell me more. I love that.
Even like you were saying about Jesus and the 12, there's literally a guy named Doubting Thomas, and he still had him hang around with him. And he even was like, and I was going to bring that up. Like Judas is like even the most, and I'm going to ask you a question afterwards and get your thoughts on something about Judas after I say this. But I thought it was always interesting that Jesus, from day one, knew Judas was going to betray him.
100%. And
he knew it.
And he chose him.
And he chose him still.
Come on.
I think that is such a beautiful thing. Now, my question is, do you think Judas is in heaven?
So I actually saw and I don't know, who knows, but I saw a video like on TikTok where it actually said that he did not enter the kingdom of heaven.
Really?
And I believe that they pointed out to something in the Bible. Obviously, I don't have it with me, but I saw a video that said no, that he did not go to heaven.
Wow, I think he did.
Okay.
And the reason why, I just can't...
Guys, drop it in the comments below. What do you guys think? Do you think Jesus
I just can't imagine Jesus going like, I know that you're going to betray me and you're going to learn all my
But here's the
teachings.
thing: in the Bible, it said that Satan entered into Judas.
Sure.
Yeah.
But Christ also paid the price on the cross for Judas
Mm-hmm.
afterwards when he says, if you confess with your mouth that I'm your Lord and your Savior,
Yeah.
I'll die for all your
Oh,
sins.
I want to tell you something. Okay, sorry, we're like kind of a little bit
A little bit of a sidetrack,
sorry,
but
we'll get back into this.
yes.
But okay, so we were in Bible study a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about was it Peter that denied Jesus 3 times?
Mm-hmm.
Peter denied Jesus 3 times, and after that happened, when Jesus revealed himself to the disciples after he ascended and came back, he asked Peter 3 times, "Do you love me?"
Yep. Then feed my sheep.
How beautiful is that?
Yeah.
That like he allowed him to be redeemed 3 times after he denied him 3 times. Like it's like that the amount of times that you will sin, there is then also then the forgiveness and the redemption. You sin and there is again, and I just thought that was so beautiful. Again, relationship, right? And it's just
Totally.
rupture, repair, rupture, repair, rupture, repair, right? And I
even
think
Jesus went through it.
right, exactly. And so I just think that that's so beautiful. So anyway, all that to say, 24K, these are your inner circle people. And don't tell me that you can't trust people because Jesus had 12. Okay. So,
and even more than 12. He had people following him, but he had his core 12 for sure.
Totally. So, next is 18K. So these are still people that are really, really valuable in your life. They may not be like your first, second, or third people that you go to, but maybe like your fourth, fifth, or sixth. You can tell them not everything, but almost, right? And these are still very valuable people in your life. And so just making sure that you know the difference between your 24K and your 18K, but still very valuable people. There might be certain areas where you're like, either we're still working on building a relationship, or maybe, they kind of have broken my trust a little bit. And so, I might have to keep a little bit of a distance, but I still really care about them.
Or see patterns and behaviors, and you kind of go,
right.
Okay, well, I'm going to, like you said, put boundaries up and
put them back a little bit. Or maybe seasons have changed a little bit, and so they're not the access isn't there as much, but they still really add a lot of value to your life. 16K, I would say these are more your acquaintances. I would say these might be like your coworkers. We don't really go deep. We don't really talk too much about what's really going on. I'll say, hey, what's up? Maybe we'll go out to just like outings and things like that, but we don't really go too terribly deep. And then lastly is 10K, and that's everybody else, right? That is literally everybody else. And so it's important to know where you place people in your life. Now, get this, everybody in your life has their own version of this, okay? Mm-hmm. So here's where we get tripped up. I like to say, don't hurt your own feelings by over prioritizing your importance in someone else's life.
That's what I was literally just about to ask. That's almost verbatim. Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
Because what happens is we may put someone in our 24 karat circle. You're giving them 24 karat energy, 24 karat access, 24 karat love.
And what's their output?
And they might be putting you in 16K.
Yeah.
They're like, homie, it's really not that serious.
Yeah.
And you're like, but I'm giving you 24 karat. I didn't ask for all of that. Right? You are an acquaintance to me.
I am someone who has fallen victim of that.
Oh, yeah.
I am someone who's like, if I meet you and we vibe and we connect, I'm all in.
All in.
What are we doing here? And I think that's such an important thing to recognize, because then you're setting yourself up for potential, for lack of a better term, hurt.
Yeah.
Could be there, pain. And then there's that expectation. It's like, dang, man, I went all out and I got you there. And I'm like, it's not being reciprocated. I'm like, I'm sorry, but that's how you see me. I don't see you that way.
Exactly.
How do you discern that?
There would have to be some conversations. Obviously, take it slow. Like you said, like you tend to jump all in. Me too. I love people. I'm just like, listen, I love you, right? And so they're just like, why do you love me so much?
Yeah.
I'm like, because I see you the way God sees you. I already know, like whatever, And so, but some people have their own stuff. Sometimes attachment styles play into it, right? Being mindful of like, okay, well, am I anxiously attached because I don't really know how they feel and I need to get them to love me? Or, like there's so many different things that we have to like go into that. It does take time to get to know people. And I think something that's really beautiful to look at is 1 Corinthians 13, where it talks about, love is patient. And so it does take time to build love. It doesn't happen immediately. We can be fond of someone we can really like someone, but really how we get to see someone's character is over time. And I like to say this, like you can have crushes on people, you can have platonic crushes, friend crushes, whatever. But I always say that a crush is just simply lack of information. And so
Dive
you,
into that.
yeah,
I'm so curious.
a crush is just simply lack of information. It's like, I think I like you, and I'm
Okay.
filling in the blank, and I'm projecting who I think you are,
Or who I want you to
who I
be.
want you to be.
Yeah.
And so then there's like, they might feel this pressure of like, I think you think I'm somebody that I'm not. Or I think that
Say
you
that again. So
know,
a crush is
a crush is simply lack of information,
that's oh, that's good.
right? Because like I don't really know you like that. Like we had a really great interaction. We had a really great conversation. That was awesome. But like we haven't spent enough time to really cultivate and see, can this relationship stand the test of time? Can it stand seasons of darkness and moments of distance? Can it stand disagreements and miscommunications and misfires and mishaps and all of that? That is really what is going to help you see where this person does fall in your life. And some people move faster, some people move slower. I know for me, and I actually was having a conversation with a friend about this, which I didn't realize that I think very differently. For me, I'm like, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. So everybody starts with a clean slate with me.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, I'm just like very optimistic, and I'm just like, oh, and I'm like just open, and like I just am genuinely like happy, and like I really think positive things. There are some people who are actually very like guarded, and they are like, they don't trust, and they are like, I don't know if I can trust you. And like they might take their time.
Is that a trauma response
Um,
for some?
well, here's the thing. I think somewhere in the middle is good because I don't think you want to be too open and letting everybody in,
Oh,
right?
no doubt, no
But then
doubt.
you also don't want to be too guarded and like close everybody out either. Somewhere in the middle is healthy because
Because I know people who are like that, who are like,
yeah,
I don't want to be friends with you.
yeah,
You're a really nice person, but I've been hurt so many times by people and
yeah,
situations, and I just
yeah.
no thanks.
Yeah, I think, everybody's in different seasons and
Yeah,
different spaces, and some people are good with just having a small circle and that's them, and
yeah,
that's okay. Some people are like, hey, I love to network and I love to just, I love to just be open with a lot of different people and just have, not that everybody is here. I might have like hundreds of people here, right?
sure,
And so, but realizing that everybody's just in different places, different seasons. If they're navigating trauma, they're going through a lot of stuff, their capacity might not be there to give the level of depth or intensity that you're looking for.
sure.
Doesn't mean they're bad, wrong, trauma. It just is where they're
Yeah.
at, right? And so I think a good person and friend is understanding that
Mm,
we can have needs that exist at the exact same time.
yeah,
And how we can make that work is by not making the other person wrong or bad for having needs that are different.
yeah,
It's just how do we communicate that so that we both can coexist,
yeah.
right? And so, yeah, that's important. And I think, when you look at this and you see where you place people in your life, there might be certain people that are in your 16K circle that you wish would be closer. So a call to action would be, well, how then do I move them from 16K to 18K? What do you think would be a way to move them from 16K to 18K? How could you maybe make that relationship a little closer?
Yeah, I know. If we're saying that 16K is sort of the acquaintance,
Yeah.
you see if it's your coworker. So I'm someone who really loves my coworkers
Yeah.
a lot, and they're like family to me. I figure you're going to spend 40 hours a week with these people.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have some sort of vested interest in them. It
Totally.
doesn't have to be, I'll do heaven and earth for you, but you can do like, hey, how are you? What's going on? How's your kids? All that stuff. So
Yeah.
I think it's when you go from here to here. For me, it's taking that extra step. If they're
Yeah.
acquaintances, they work. Hey, you want to go grab a beer?
Yeah. Inviting them out.
Going out to do something,
Yeah.
or hey, or even just like recognizing things and behaviors in someone. Like there's someone like at Walgreens that I see all the time, and she's a wonderful lady. And I asked her how her day was going, and she said, "It's not doing too hot.
Mm.
Um, my daughter's not talking to me,
Yeah.
and that's been really, really hard." And I
Yeah.
was like, "I'm so sorry to hear that." I happen to have her number.
Mm-hmm.
About 2 weeks later, I was thinking about her because it just brought up, and I shot her a text and I said, "Hey, how's everything going?" And she's like,
Yeah.
fine? Is everything okay? I was like, yeah, it's just last time I talked to you, you and your daughter were having a, sort of a rift, and I want to make sure that you're doing okay. And if you ever need anything,
That's
just to
sweet.
talk to you, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
And she's like, you have no idea how much that means. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
So I think just like recognizing things with people and being
Yeah.
intentional about listening to what's going on in their life
Yeah.
and bringing that back up. I mean, I have coworkers. Like, I had a coworker come up to me the other day, and he was like, "Hey, Donovan, I heard you talking to someone about being a confident person. Could you explain that more to me? Because I really feel like I need that."
Yeah.
Absolutely, I would
Yeah.
love to have that. That's that boom, but like
Totally.
that to me is it's just being intentional with the people that you're around. Like, if you
Absolutely.
really want them to go to the next level in your friendship,
Yeah.
you will make the effort to go and do that.
Yeah.
And if they see that effort,
Yeah.
then they go, oh, this is somebody that I actually really really like. And
Yeah.
then it's reciprocated. Sometimes you can go the extra mile and that person's
Just not there.
just not there,
It's okay.
or they're closed off, or they have trust issues or whatever, and
Yeah.
that's fine. But for
Yeah.
me, I think when you're going from glory to glory, I
Right.
think it's really just being as intentional as possible. And what does
Totally.
that intention look like? Do you
Yeah.
want to go, all in to the 24K, or do you want to go like, hey, like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I can see where I can meet them where they're at in this specific area.
Totally. I love that. Yeah. The intentionality is huge. And I think so. Oftentimes we are giving the love that we are looking to receive.
Oh, yeah,
And
talk on that.
so it's so important, yeah, that we also have to check our heart and our motives and our intentions behind
Totally.
that, right? Because true love is like, don't let the right hand know what the left hand's doing, right? We're not love with no conditions. And so something that I really try to be mindful of, I don't do it perfectly because I catch myself, but giving what I can afford to not get back, right?
Oh, that's so good.
Just simply being present. This may just be a moment. This just might be a beautiful moment. And I'm just so glad that I was able to just be here, pray with you. And I just, that's it,
That's
right?
good. So, like, staying
Yeah.
present.
Being present and then having no real expectations or being detached from the outcome, right? Because sometimes, yeah, we're like, oh, I want this or I want that. Why do you want that so bad? I don't know, right? And so I think because people can tell that sometimes, like they can tell if there is like a hidden motive underneath that or why you have this like desire for this closeness. And sometimes it can like make people feel like weird, right?
Yeah.
And so being detached from the outcome and just going, hey, if this is meant to be something, then it'll happen in
Totally.
its own time. But I'm genuinely just being kind and loving, and I'm being obedient. If God's asked me to do something, I will. So I got into a car accident back in April and was hit, T-boned, and my car was smacked into a light pole. And I totally was like filled with the Holy Spirit because like I don't know, I knew the minute that I was gonna get hit, I remember just being in total peace. Just total peace, total surrender, just going, all right, this just might be how it ends, right?
Wow.
And like cause I saw like I knew like when I tried to put on the brakes, like I just knew that this person was gonna hit me and I'm just like, all right. And I was in total peace. As I get out of the car, I'm just again in total peace. And the lady who hit me, she comes over and she goes, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then she goes and gives me a hug and reaches for a hug. And I gave it to her. That was not me. That is Holy Spirit that was in me because that is not the natural human response, right? But there was a girl who happened to see the accident and she pulled over. And in the midst of the car accident, she's like, she took pictures, she took videos of everything that had happened while there are other people coming out, giving me water, just other people coming and being the hands and feet of Christ. Like I just felt like it was heaven that just came and invaded and took care of
That's
me in
cool.
that moment, which was great. But anyway, this girl didn't want anything other than she saw that there was a need and she came over and she took pictures and she did that. And I texted her maybe a couple days after that and we've never talked again. Right. And it's just like there's no expectation. It was just simply a moment in time, and I think that sometimes we have to also be okay with moments and not necessarily having to create it to be this like big grand gesture of anything else. And if it does come back, if there is more to be had to that, being also open to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
How do you get someone from 10K to 24K? Is that possible?
yeah, I mean, it would just
Time.
take time.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people start out 10K, right?
That's
I
true.
mean, I think we're all a couple degrees away from everybody. And so, yeah.
How many people do you think right now you would have in your 24K circle?
In my 24K? Let me think. Okay. I'm like, I don't know if they can hear it in the mic, but I'm like thinking, I would say about 7.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, mine's around like 4.
Yeah. And usually it is pretty small, right?
Yeah.
And usually is pretty small, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I would say that, the most people that I have, I would say are probably 16K.
Yeah.
Like, but I wouldn't say people in 16K would feel like 16K, like I still feel like, the way I treat people, I'm still very like loving and kind. And, I'm going to give you that, kindness and love.
I feel like some of our like creativity too,
Hmm.
like I know for me being a creative person, like
Yeah.
I'm always wanting people to be involved, be connected. So
yeah,
I think that's where sometimes I fall into that trap of like, aren't you having fun? This is all supposed to be fun. We're creating together, aren't you? I'm having fun. You should be having fun too.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
Yeah.
No, totally. Yeah. I mean, I think we just also really love people. And here's the thing too, is like also realizing that people love differently than you do. Right. And so like for me, I'm like extremely loud about my love. I am very like, right.
Yeah.
I'm very supportive. I'm loud about like, I want you to win. Like I'm very much like cheerleader, rah, rah. Right.
Yeah.
Not everybody's like that.
No.
Some people are like, I am never gonna, be that loud. But if you need me, like, I'll always pick up.
Yeah.
Right. Or, like I'll always, show up in a moment where you ask. I may not be the person to initiate, but like, that I am going to be there and have your back. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that realizing that everybody shows love differently is okay. And acknowledging and learning their love language and then also loving them in a way that's helpful to them too, right?
Yeah.
Because we might be trying to love people in a way that we give love that we are hoping we get back.
Yeah.
Right? We love people in the way that we want to be loved. And sometimes the way we're loving people is not what they need. I don't need that. I didn't ask for all of that.
Yeah.
Hold me back up. You know what I'm saying?
You are in my space.
That's right. You're doing the literal most, right? And so being mindful of like in relationship, like asking, like, how do you feel loved? Is there anything I can do for you? Right. And just being able to allow both people to be in relationship with each other. I'm going to actually draw one more thing for you guys.
Yay.
Oh man.
Girl, let me get you a girl.
Come give me something.
I gotta get you a napkin or something. Come on now.
Got messed up. This one is really fun because it talks about how we are in relationships and how we are interconnected, but we're not codependent. We're, thank you, friend. I might need a dry one too.
It's a dry side.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. So we are interconnected, but we are not codependent. And it's important that we keep our autonomy in relationships and that we don't become codependent or enmeshed.
Sure.
And some people who are actually really fearful of getting into close relationships, they worry about losing themselves in relationships, and it could be due to trauma, past relationships where they've lost themselves because they lacked boundaries or they weren't allowed to have boundaries when they were a kid. And so this is called the 3 circles. I actually learned this. I will give credit to a company that I used to do retreats for. It's called Evoke in Utah. And so it's called 3 circles. And I love this because it really does talk about how we are connected, right? So there's 3 circles. They're all in a line. And each circle, so the one is you. The one on the far end is them. And then in the middle is the relationship circle. Okay. So in the circle with you, this is going to be your values, going to be your beliefs, going to be your needs, right? And then for them, they also have their values, their beliefs, and their needs, right? And so when it comes to being in the relationship, though, this is where you actually someone from this circle, they step into the relationship circle, always keeping one foot here, but they put one foot into the relationship circle. And you do the exact same thing. You have one foot here and one foot in the relationship circle, meaning you are going to always bring your values, your beliefs, and your needs into the relationship circle, and they do the same, right? And from here, this is where we cultivate the relationship. And so I may invite you into it and say, hey, friend, I would like to do a certain activity, right? And you can step into the relationship circle, and you're allowed to at any time step out of the relationship circle if that does not align.
Sure.
You're able to say, hey, Gabby, I am not interested in doing whatever. Let's say someone invites you to go to like a strip club or something, and that may not be something that's aligned with your values. You can step into the circle. They say, hey, do you want to go to strip club? You're like, that just doesn't align with my values or what I'm doing right now. So you then take your foot back and you put it right back into your circle, because I don't have to enter into the relationship if this is the condition, right? And so, but you continually are doing that, where you're always keeping one foot in your circle and one foot in the relationship circle as you guys are cultivating and building the relationship.
Interesting.
Now, what you don't ever want to do is you never, ever, ever want to leave your circle and bulldoze over to their circle and tell them how they are supposed to be living, how they are supposed to be believing, how they're supposed to be valuing. That is enmeshment. That is codependency. And they shouldn't be doing the exact same thing either, where they are taking their value, their circle, and they're coming over into you, right? And so it's important when you are in relationships with people that you know who you are. Otherwise, other people can tell you like who you are, what to believe. And a lot of times, like when people have like really hard boundaries in relationships, or they're kind of fearful, it may be because they have had a history of being in relationships or environment where their reality was shifted. And this person is telling them, hey, this is actually not a circle that you're in. This is a square. This is a square, right? And they're trying to convince their values and things like that. And so I think sometimes at times people may need time on their own to really take inventory and think, who am I on my own? What do I value? What do I believe? What do I need? So that then they have trust to be able to pick safe people to be in relationship with.
That's so good.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a lot.
That was so good though. That was really, really good.
So yeah, I mean, all that to say, our relationships are so important and they're so valuable, and we really have to be mindful and intentional of the people that we do surround ourselves with. God is very intentional when He brings people into your life, and that, like, my prayer for you is that you would take inventory of the people in your life this week, and find people maybe that you have been keeping at a distance. If you realize that these people might add more value, that you would actually take a step and invite them closer so that you can start cultivating deeper relationship. And then if there are people in your life where you're like, actually, I don't think that they want what's best for me, it's okay to take a step back.
Yeah.
It's okay to move them back in the circle. They can be 10K for a season, And so that would be like my challenge for you guys this week, is take inventory of your circles.
There you go. What's the name of your book again?
Yeah, it's called The Ultimate Guide to Becoming a Gold Digger, Discovering the Hidden Treasures Within. And you can find it on Amazon, and we'll actually drop it in the link below.
Absolutely. Comment, like, subscribe, do all the things. Hit that bell for notifications. Let us know when you want to see a topic. Please leave a comment below.
Yeah.
If you have a question for Gabby, let her know. We would love to engage with you guys a lot more. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's that.
Well, we'll see you guys in the next episode.
See you guys.